Are you looking to take your personal finances to the next level? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Monday Money Tip Podcast, presented by I Was Broke, Now I'm Not, with your host, Joseph Sangle.
Well, welcome to the Monday Money Tip Podcast, hosted and presented by I Was Broke, Now I'm Not. My name is Joe Sangle, and I'm fired up to bring you episode number
79.
That's right, and that's the voice of Megan Hibbard, my co-host. Are you fired up today?
Fired up.
Yes.
It's a new year.
Yes, it's the new year. It's January 6th, the release date of this podcast, and we're going to talk about what today?
All right. Our featured question for today is, I want to make a lot of progress with my finances in 2020. Can you share some special tips that can help me get off to a great start?
Absolutely. And so we're super fired up about that, helping everybody get off to a great start. And first, though, I want to talk about the featured resource. And today's feature resource is my new book, 2020 Money. Super fired up about that. Gaining clarity for your financial future. You start out 2020 right by having 2020 vision for your life and for your money. Connect your dreams to your dollars by visiting iwbnin.com/2020 to learn more and receive a special offer. And now, before we dive into the featured question of this episode and having your best financial year yet, it's that time. You know what time that is. Let's go.
Now it's time to get caught up with our current money events.
This portion of the podcast is sponsored by the 0% interest balance credit card page on I Was Broke, Now I'm Not. If you accidentally ran up a balance over the holidays, this is a great way to eliminate all of the interest and speed up your debt freedom. Check it out at iwbnin.com. Click on Next Steps, then 0% credit cards. I will tell you, so just to let you guys all know, Joe is Facebook Living this for everyone who's listening on the actual day of the release.
Yes.
So there's a camera
That's
in
why
my
there's
face
some
as I'm
giggling.
trying to read, this.
You're a
But-
superstar.
Hey,
Yes, that's awesome. I really do encourage you, if you have a credit card balance, check out that 0% interest balance transfer credit card page at I Was Broke, Now I'm Not, if you accidentally ran up that balance, you know. But today's current money events section, the topic is banking. And the last time I updated this was way back in October, episode number 67.
it feels like it was just yesterday.
Yes, it was not. It was still warm. I was still swimming in my pool. But you know what? Things have changed a lot. Finances are dynamically changing. And this is important. And this is one of the things we like to do with the podcast is to bring right now relevant information. And if you listen to us, you can keep up to speed with the national debt. You can keep up to speed with mortgage rates. You can keep up to date with interest rates on savings and different things like that. And that's what we aim to do, is really be a helpful provider for your practical next steps, but also to enable you to know the information, what is going on with the world of finance. And so when we look at mortgage rates, the 30-year average dropped down again. It went to 3.73% average. It was 3.810, and it was 4.29% just a half a year ago on June 10th. Can you believe that?
That's crazy.
That's unbelievable. In fact, it's down more than a half a point. That is crazy. 50 basis points. The 15-year average is now at 3% flat. It was 3.1% on the last update. This is the average nationally for purchases, new home purchases, not necessarily refinances, although they're very close. Now, basic savings rates, this is with no minimum balance. Marcus has tumbled down even farther. It was my favorite bank. It's now tumbling out of favor. 1.70%, down from 2% in just since 3 months ago. It was 2.25% 6 months ago. So it's already down 0.55%. And why is that? It's because Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve has dropped interest rates. It's super important to think about. And so I encourage you to check that out and make sure that your money is continuing to make money for you. Ally is down to 1.7% as well. It's down from 1.90%. It was 2.20% in June. American Express Bank is at 1.75%. It's actually better than Marcus and Ally right now.
I did think it was interesting. So the emails I've been getting from Ally, because that's the bank, one of the banks that we use, is that the interest rates is dropping. But something that is interesting that we talk about a lot is they've switched from making you have separate accounts to doing these buckets that we talked about. So you don't actually have to open, at least this is what I'm understanding, it's different where you don't have to necessarily open another account to see everything, but you can actually create those different buckets like vacation, HOA, car repairs, all that kind of stuff. You can create those in it. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Is they're still trying to do things to innovate and change and
and
grow.
improve the customer experience.
Yeah, even though
That's
they can't
fantastic.
increase your rates.
And so I do encourage you guys to save that. And thanks for sharing that. That's inspirational moments with Megan. CD rates. Now this assumes you have $5,000 minimum. If you don't have $5,000 minimum, you probably shouldn't be messing around with CDs. But the 1 year average is 2.10%. It was 2.4%, so it's down 0.3%. It was 2.7% 6 months ago. 3 years at 2.15, and the 5 years 2.25. It was 2.8 to 2.95 in June. Again, that's directly proportional to the overnight federal funds rate at the Federal Reserve. And so what do you learn from this? This is why CDs are popular, is that if you feel like rates are up and that they're going to go down in the near future, and you just want the money there in locked in better rates, CDs allow you to lock those rates. There were people locking in rates for 5 years at 2.95%. And right now, if you didn't lock in the money, yours is down to 1.75% at best. And the best you can get on a 5 year now is 2.25. That's a lot of difference. And so I encourage you, stay in tune with this stuff. Not just when you're going to go buy your next house, not just when you're starting to really pay attention to your savings, but all the time so that you can make the best decision with your money. And that's it for today's current money events section.
All right, so for our success story today, it comes from Scott. And Scott says, "Hi, Joe. In September of 2010, you spoke at our church in Chesapeake, Virginia. You lit a fire in me that night, and I have not let the foot off the gas pedal since. With house and all consumer debt, I was in a hole $263,000.
Woo!
Today, I went to the bank and wired the last payment on the house. Wow, congratulations. I just wanted to say thank you for your teachings, because without that Sunday night in 2010, I don't really know where I would be now. If you'd like to know more details, I'd be happy to speak with you or anyone on your team as inspiration to others. Have a great day, because I know I sure am." And
Woo!
that's from Scott.
Scott.
Yeah.
We received that in November. That's awesome. So super excited to get this success story, because it was a catalytic moment. So it lit a fire in him, and he's not let his foot off the gas pedal since. So I never know what the it moment is for people. I don't know what it is. If I could know the it moment that would get people on board. There are some people, they've been late on bills for years, and another month ain't a problem. There's others, they've been late once, and that is a catalytic moment.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is for people, but for Scott, that night, it was the financial learning experience.
And I think this shows, the September of 2010, it shows that money is a journey, not just a moment. And
That's
so
it.
it could take time,
It
but
does
you got to
take time.
stick with it. And he hasn't let his foot off the gas pedal since then, because he had that moment. So
Almost
huge.
10 years, a
Yeah.
decade. He is prospering greatly. That's incredible. He owns his house outright. That's the dream of so many people.
Yeah.
And so, Scott, thanks for taking the time to share your success story with us. As we say, this podcast, the Monday Money Tip podcast, is powered by your success. And we're grateful to hear of your success, and just happy to be just a small part of your journey.
Okay, so now we're going to go to the featured question for today. So just to remind you guys, I want to make a lot of progress with my finances in 2020. Can you share some tips that can help me get off to a great start?
Yes, I can. So we're going to talk about how to have a great start in the year 2020. And really to be able to help you guys make sure that your money goes to another level in the year 2020. And we've got about 15 minutes here where we're going to be able to talk about that. I'm fired up to do that. And so the first thing that I would say is a key statement, and that is you never have to recover from a great start. You never have to recover from a great start. You can do this. You can get started off to a great start. Get that first foot in front of the other. It's just like when I go running. That first step is the hardest one. And it starts something called the law of momentum. And when you make decisions early, right now, it's January 6th, right now at the start of 2020, you're positioning yourself to have the best financial year yet. We're going to talk about some practical things you can do to make sure that you have a great start. Have you ever been in a race where you didn't have a great start? And you get the side stitch? Do you remember that in PE? They make you run the mile, and you tried to boogie out there really fast, and then you get the side stitch, then you're out of air, and you had to crawl the last 2 laps. I have. And you have to recover from that. That's a bad start. But a great start, man, it's awesome. So here, number one, set 2020 financial goals. And I encourage you to set 5 goals, really. And the first one is an earnings goal. Make sure you set an earnings goal. An earnings goal is important because if you're a salesperson, a real estate salesperson, it's obvious to you to set an earning goal. But if you're in a salary position, you can still set an earnings goal. It might be exactly what your salary is. It might be to say, I want to generate $10,000 from some side job. If you're a firefighter and you have that off time, maybe you have this side job that you have this side business, but an earnings goal. Maybe ask for a raise in 2020. A giving goal. A giving goal is where you get to really be intentional. They call it informed philanthropy. Informed philanthropy.
It's a tough word to say.
Yeah, I almost said philanthropic, but it's informed philanthropy. And it's really saying I'm going to be intentional. I'm going to make sure that the organization I'm giving to is really doing what they say they're doing with the money. I'm making sure that these dollars that I'm deploying are going to help advance the things I'm passionate about. And that's great. You should have that giving goal. To what organizations are you going to give? How much are you going to give? What's your goals? They're starting out 2020. You never have to recover from a great start. And then a savings goal. Make sure you have a saving goal. So the saving goal is really important because the saving goal is what builds margin for your life. It allows you to take advantage of opportunities in the future. Allows you to address obstacles you encounter along the way without incurring debt. So make sure you have a savings goal. And then an investing goal. They're different, aren't they?
Yes.
So a savings goal is money that's just there to protect. It's there for emergencies. It's there for short-term dreams. Investing is stuff that you're putting at risk in hopes of gaining a return, an investing goal. And that is for retirement, for your kids' college, your grandkids' college. It's for all things related to investment activities. It's for retirement. It's for a beach house. I don't know what all the dreams are. You want to speak into that dream?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times we say the 5-year rule too. So if you're going to use it within 5 years, put it in savings. If it's for longer than 5 years, then put it in investing.
That's great.
And so that's one thing to consider too. You know, if you're wanting to, do something in the next couple years, I mean, maybe something like big like the beach house, you probably wouldn't want to do in the next 5 years. So that'd be an investing. But if you're wanting to save, like one of our things is saving for a new car. So that's one of the things that we're doing right now, saving for a new car. And so that would be within the next 5 years that we're wanting to do that. So we would leave it in savings.
And a boat.
And a boat.
Yeah. I think that's a short-term dream for you, not a long-term. Jordan just phoned in. Yeah, I just got a text. And then a debt goal. If you're paying off debt in 2020, credit cards, student loans, a car, a motorcycle, a parent, a friend, make sure that you have those debt payoff goals. Let me tell you, the person you owe money will be happy you did.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So set those 2020 financial goals. And number 2, increase your financial knowledge. So it's very important to increase your financial knowledge because your financial knowledge is what is going to make or break you, really. I like to say this. What you know or don't know about money absolutely is going to make a difference on where you land financially. So let's ask questions. Maybe you could ask some of the questions,
Yes.
Megan.
All right. So the first one is, what financial books are you going to read?
Yeah.
So we have a couple here, obviously.
You should read I Was Broke, Now
Yeah.
I'm Not, 2020 Money, Westcam, Oxen. Those are awesome books. No,
They are awesome
but
books.
are you going to read Dave Ramsey's book, Robert Kiyosaki's book, David Bach's book, David Chilton's
Yeah.
book? What books are you going to read?
We have a recommended books page on our website, so I'll include a link to that in the show notes as well, where it's all of Joe's books, but then it's also some of the books that he just listed that are great resources for you if you're wanting to increase your financial knowledge.
Awesome. And tell them some other ways they can increase their financial
All
knowledge.
right, so the next one is, what websites are you going to read regularly?
Yeah.
So you might have heard Joe say this before, but he has like 872 tabs that open up in the beginning when he opens his computer because he wants to be well informed. And so there's lots of websites out there. Try not to get overwhelmed by the amount of knowledge, but pick a few that you trust. Go for it.
I call it learning in layers.
Yeah.
And websites allow me to learn in a layer. A book allows me to learn a deeper layer.
Yep.
What's the third way to increase our knowledge?
All right. The next way is, what financial conferences or training events are you going to attend?
Yeah. I mean, do you want to become great at real estate investing? Do you want to become great at investing in the stock market? Do you want to become great at saving money? Do you want to become great at giving? Do you want to increase your earning power? What financial conferences or training events are you going to attend? And then ask this question, who will help you? Because mentors, which we're going to spend an entire episode on this very topic next week, is about, and mentors help you increase your financial knowledge. Their experience, their vast experience is so helpful to you in your own financial journey. And so as you go into 2020 and having the best year ever, you want to have the best year ever, you got to set those 2020 financial goals. You got to commit to increase your financial knowledge. The third thing I encourage you to do is to establish accountability. To establish accountability. Who are the specific named people that are going to meet with you at scheduled regular reviews throughout the year? And I encourage you right now to put dates on your calendar when you're going to meet with them. Who is the human, as I say, the human that you're going to meet with, and when are you going to meet with them? Put those dates on your calendar now, right now. It's January 6th. Put them on the meeting on the calendar now, because that forces accountability and that allows you to be held accountable to increasing your financial knowledge, to review your goals, and help you make progress. Who kind of helps you and Jordan stay accountable these days? You don't have to name their names, but kind of who are those different people or things in your life?
Yeah, there's definitely people that are ahead of us in our journey. Obviously, the head of the journey is the important part. But whether they're people in our financial journey who are farther along, or people in the season of life right now we're in is parenting. So people that are farther along in their parenting journey.
That's
you have
great.
kids that are older than us, when we can call them and be like, hey, this is happening. Is this normal? Or what do I do?
There you go.
This is happening. And they're able to speak into that. So we definitely have people that you trust. The trust is a big thing. So we definitely have those people.
That's awesome. And I would just say this, when you establish such accountability, I love what you just mentioned there was a parenting thing, a parenting accountability and counsel. Don't try to do life alone.
Right.
This stuff applies as much to life as it does just money.
Right.
And so that's good. Increase your financial knowledge, establish accountability. And then number 4, you want to have the best year ever? Take action right away. I've heard it said this way, be aggressively patient. Isn't that neat? I like that language. It's the law of momentum. Get started. And the first step is the hardest to take. And as I've mentioned already, every time I go for a run, every single time, the hardest step to take, that first one. After that, momentum takes over, and all of a sudden, I've got progress being made. I strongly encourage each of you to set your 2020 goals and really increase your financial knowledge and establish accountability. And let that accountability boost you to take those steps that you need to take, but you just need that helpful encouragement, what I call that left foot of fellowship, booting you out of the nest to go take that step that is uncomfortable, but it's going to help you really prosper.
Yeah. And I think in past episodes, the two before last, so the one right before Christmas, we talked about, talking about plans, hopes, and dreams, writing those down, having that meeting before the new year. But I think it's still not too late. Maybe you're thinking, oh, I didn't do that. It's too late. We'll just try again next year. But it's never too late to sit down and have that conversation with your spouse or mentor or friend or somebody where you can really sit down and say, these are the things I want to accomplish this year. These are, the goals that I have, and look at those 5 things. And, maybe you go back and listen to the past episode and you can say, these are the hopes I have for my house. These are the hopes I have for investing, for giving, for saving, all that kind of stuff. So it's never too late just to have that. And like you said, the first step is the hardest, but you just got to do it. So maybe today is the day you do it and you take that step.
And I think that's fantastic wisdom, that we make sure that there's no day like today. So if you're running across this episode and it's June, it's okay to start dreaming right now. I heard it said that Johnny Appleseed was once asked, when is the best time to plant apple trees? And that his response was 20 years ago. The second best time, today. I would say that applies to your dreams as well. And so we're super excited to help you get started in 2020. Here's to another year of every single Monday coming into your car, your living room, in your earbuds as you're running, as you're exercising, to help you with your money. The Monday Money Tip, every single Monday coming your way.
Maybe you guys could send in ways that you guys are going to make 2020 the best year.
Yeah.
So something that we talked about that you're saying, hey, we're going to do this year. Or maybe it's something that we didn't talk about that you want to let us know. We'd love to hear from you guys and share that.
Yeah. And as I mentioned, the topic for next week is what we mentioned here for number 3, which is the power of coaching. And it's a topic that we're really passionate about because coaching helps us accomplish stuff we would never be able to do on our own. It applies to sports, and it definitely applies to our money. So be sure to join us next Monday for this potentially life-changing episodes.
All right. So if you liked today's episode, please help us get this podcast to others who could benefit. You could do this by quickly rating our podcast and leaving a review. And these ratings and reviews help us make our podcast better for other listeners. And don't forget, on the last Monday of the month, we're going to be answering your top money questions. So if you have questions, make sure you send those in. You can email them. You can send them on our social networks, whatever works best for you guys. And then also, if you implemented one of our tips, make sure you share your success story with us. We'd love to hear.
And I'll finish with this. When you have a dream, it sets the eyes that gleam. So make sure you have your dreams and make sure your financial decisions and your goals for 2020 are in alignment and support of those. Here's the best year ever. Get fired up.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Monday Money Tip Podcast, presented by I Was Broke, Now I'm Not. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a review and subscribe. And for more great content and to stay up to date, visit iwbnin.com. We'll catch you next time.